Hi, and welcome to Fuzzy Guard, Esports Stories from the Bar. My name is SamDDing, and I've been in this industry for about 5 years. Now let's bring some other esports professionals to the pub. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Fuzzy Guard number 2. I have Dunk here with me, man. Dunk has been commentating for a good bit right now. Been travelling around the world a little bit. I see you. How you feeling tonight, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. First of all, thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. And second of all, apologies to my mother and my father. Probably going to disappoint them somewhere along the stream, you know, or stream recording, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm so used to doing live as well. Like when I hear stuff gets edited out, it hurts my feelings. Like, you know, I'm just like, wait, I thought we were trained to be perfect at all times, you know. But
you know, I actually, so first bit of deep shit, I guess.
Okay.
So they did like a B-reel for Dragon Ball Fighters for the finals.
Right.
My voice wasn't in it once, and I was genuinely upset. I was like, damn, they edited me out, the arseholes, so I'm going to find them. So whoever's the content guy at Reversal, I'm looking at you.
You got the chop, man.
I'm playing.
Yeah, so today I am drinking some Captain Morgan. I said I go with the rum today, because I started with beer and then I did wine, so it's the natural progression to move on to spirits. What about you? Are you drinking?
Is that it, bro? I feel so fancy now. We're doing alcohol shows. I'm drinking mango and passion fruit Smirnoff.
Nice.
It's not my favorite, but it gets the job done.
That's it. Oh my god. Speaking of, so C4 had just come on and did this, and he was drinking cider, and I said, do you normally drink cider, dude? He had the most fighting game player way. He was like, well look, if I'm out to get drunk, I don't care what it tastes like. But if I'm sitting down having like a casual drink, I'll drink something that I like. I was like, that's the most like, that's like optimal. That's min-maxing your alcohol intake. Like,
nah, but that's the pussy way out, man. Honestly, no, see, lots of respect to C4, all love. C4, definitely a intelligent guy. I, on the other hand, if I'm out, I need to get to my peak as soon as possible. So... Nah, no messing around with the ciders. And they make me sick, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I drink one too many ciders, I feel a bit
yeah, it's a lot of sugar in it. A lot of sugar. Yeah, so how are you feeling about esports right now?
Oh, esports, esports is weird at the moment, right? I feel like we're in a weird place with esports. Like fighting games versus esports, at least. We've had the whole Maturino Arturo stuff happen. And obviously that got a bunch of people real mad. And I think people are seeing the benefits and the cons to having esports in the scene. And to be honest, like, to be real with you, I came from esports, right? So a lot of it is, I mean, I came from League of Legends, right? Like, I was a league baby. So before I started commentating any fighting game, I was commentating League of Legends, CSGO, like all that kind of stuff. So I jumped in to fighting games by accident, like years later. But I was commentating esports stuff. So for me, when people like separate and say fighting games and esports, I'm like, how do you guys hate esports so much? What's the problem? But after being involved with fighting games for a while, like, I look at esports and I'm like, this, I don't know if this can fit. You know, we have big organizations that. They have their interests, and I think fighting games and the community involved, I'm going to use the word, even though I know a lot of people don't feel like it right now, community and esports are going to find it really difficult to mesh. But I think we'll probably look at Project L and Riot jumping in and like bend over for whatever they want, to be honest.
I mean, I've said it, the next generation of fighting games with Tekken 8, Street Fighter, and Project L, like, I mean, they seem to be kind of shaping things up to that. I don't know, man. I think, and this is probably going to upset some people, but I think FGC is kind of moving into big esports now. Like, you know, if you go to stuff like Evo or, you know, Combo Breaker, same. Any of these sort of huge events, like, there's millions pumped into them, like, you know. I mean, apart from a franchise league now, that's kind of the last box to check, and then we're esports, baby.
I was actually having this chat with Dan from Vexed. I'm not sure if you would know Vexed, But shout out to Dan, great guy, wonderful, wonderful guy. And we were talking about esports and franchising and whether it will work with fighting games or not. And I was like, nah, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way we ever see franchise fighting game stuff, because it is not the heart of fighting games. Like, fighting games from the very start have been, I'm gonna fight you, and then I'm gonna fight the next guy until eventually I'm the best. And we if you franchise the whole thing, what you end up with is one of the most clouded men in the world, I'm gonna fight you, the other most clouded man in the world. And that poor 16-year-old who has like 18 hours a day to play the game isn't gonna be involved. And I think if we see any of that in the fighting game community, I think we'll probably throw up a fuss and then like see the amount of money involved, because like that's where the money fucking is.
That's
like,
exactly,
the money is in franchising, right? But it's just not. It's not the heart of fighting games, in my opinion, at least.
I mean, I think at its root, do you know, the arcade scene? You know, the way to save money in the arcade is be really good at the game. Like, so there was that constant drive to get better and better, and that's where, you know, all of these tournaments started out. Like, the root of all of these big events now that we have all started in the arcade scene back in the day. But I think the landscape changed so much that, like, I mean, I never went to the arcades. I love fighting games. I never went to the arcades. By the time I was into fighting games, they were gone. That was the thing of the past. So maybe I have this weird warped view of it and stuff. And I know people who are attached to other esports that are kind of sitting on that some of their boys make salaries and that sort of stuff. And I think, like, okay, so from being in the industry, that's kind of where I would like it to go, because that just means I can pay my rent like regularly, and I don't have to like, you know, be like emailing people. I had to send an email today and was like, hey, that payment was late, what's going on there, guys? Like, you know, this 30-day 60-day stuff, like. But you know, I don't know, I think that there's space in the FGC world for the bigger shows, because everybody loves the spectacle of Evo. Everyone loves like these. Do you know? Like, I mean, we were both in not the mix up, and we were in Paris, and like that was crazy, man. They shot fireworks up on the stage. Everyone loves that sort of stuff, but that funding has to come from somewhere, like, you know. And if somebody could kind of guarantee that once every 3 months, like, you know, and like keep the community events in the community, let them run that sort of show, but then also have some sort of stuff like, I mean, that Street Fighter League and stuff that recently came around, you know, that's the groundwork for franchising. But in my opinion, I have no idea who's organizing that or whatever, but you know, that's the blueprint there, you know. But
then like with stuff like Street Fighter League, right, you have all these well-known players who are like contracted to teams or whatever, and then you miss out on the real talents. Like Ending Walker wasn't there, right? And like, let's say, okay, next season Ending Walker gets picked up, right? You miss out on another talent, some kid from Jamaica or something, you know? Like, I agree. Like, for my own personal like development, franchising would be sound, right? Like, I would happily be franchised, and like, I sold my soul to Bandai Namco. Like, they can take it. I don't mind. There's not much left there. But like, in terms of like the storylines that you lose out on because of it, I don't know. But I do agree. Like, if they can find a way to balance it both, I'm down. I'm into it. But yeah. I think there's like, so there has been good enough evidence from the community, that I don't believe they would like stand for anything that would really, really be a detriment to fighting games. Actually, you know what? I said that. I'm going to take it back immediately. Like, the community sucks. Like, real talk. Like, the community is actually bad. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I lied to you straight up. Community sucks. Like, the whole thing with I'm not sure if this is going to be a taboo topic. I'm not sure how people feel about it. There's the
C4 patented might be cut from the podcast.
Watch out for this. Yeah. So the whole thing with Arturo and Maturino, right? Mm-hmm. The community dogged him, and like, yeah. I'm up for banter, right? You know me, like I'm up for a little bit of banter at someone's expense, you know. In this case, it was Arturo. That's unfortunate. But then there were people like making proper serious allegations. You know, like people were like, "Yo, listen, you stole from these people,"
Yeah.
And it's kind of disappointing that the community does rush down a certain path without having that knowledge, and like that kind of scares me because like franchising comes through, the opinion of the community can be swayed so easily apparently, like without having knowledge or facts.
Yep.
So then, when franchises come through and Riot say, "Listen, we're taking 16 of your best players, the rest of you can suck diddly," right? What are you gonna do? So the community, I don't feel like I could trust the community. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, okay, the community at its root, like any of the old boys.
Oh yeah.
They are the biggest mouths, like in the community. They are the boys who will shout you down, but they have this kind of thing that they learned that in the arcades. So if they stepped over a line, you know, stuff got way worse than, you know, online hate or whatever, like, you know. So I think those guys, when they do that, like, you know, in Tekken you see like guys like Pokechop or whatever, that like he's called the mouth from the south. Like the boy will like rip into his opponents and stuff, like, you know.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hack that. I could not hack that. If someone like Pokechop was shouting at me, like I'd go crazy.
But I think that's where he gets that, like, you know, like as I said, like in the arcades, the way you saved money was you were the best, and if he could put his opponent off or make him drop a combo by, like, you know, screaming at him, or like, I don't know if did he ever do much screaming, but like, you know, like that sort of stuff. But it's the when the new school of players that only grew up in the online sphere see that, and because that's almost like celebrated behavior in the community, because it's kind of back to the roots of where fighting games come from and stuff, they feel like it's okay then to just shit on people. So you get these like people calling people out on Twitter and that sort of stuff for, like, you know, I don't want to like, but you know, stupid shit, like, you know, like, oh, this guy's a spammer. Like, don't tweet that. No one on Twitter needs to know that, man. Say it if you're at an event and you're sitting beside him. Do you know, he's a masher. Look at him. Stay with him, man. No, he's just mashing hard there, like, you know. Don't tweet that.
Do you know what's funny? The Smash community is the worst with this, right? Anyone loses a Smash, immediately onto Twitter and like talking about all of this shit. I'm gonna be honest, yeah. If I lost to anybody, I could not be calling them no names. I'm like, the FBI couldn't get out of me, because I lost to that guy, bro. I'm going to my hotel room, crying in the toilet, and coming back later refreshed. But like, I feel like you're on something with this new age versus old age stuff, because a lot of people that I talked to when I first jumped in, were old school guys, you know, like Damascus, Tyrant, RMZ, for all the old man then, and they have like, they're very quiet, reserved. Online, they're very quiet, reserved.
Yeah.
But when they're with you in, like, sitting right next to you, that's when they'll talk to you. The first game I ever had on stream, right, I had RMZ telling me exactly why I'm losing. He wasn't even playing the game, bro. He wasn't playing against me, but he was just telling me why I'm losing the entire time. So like, but the new age is like, the first thought I get in my head, I'm gonna tweet it, and it's like,
yeah. But you know,
I look at it, and it's
tweets
crazy.
the monitor was laggy, dude. Like, I mean, right, grand finals at some big tournament where there's, you know, $10,000 on the line. Yeah, I mean, make sure your monitor's like set up. Like, these guys losing in pools, and they're like, oh, that's the Zowie whatever, this company's monitor, it's not so good or whatever, tagging the company in their tweets and stuff, and you're like, that's not about to change your 0-2, bro. Like, you know, like, get better. Like, just, but like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like, I mean, obviously, I'm not in no position, but this is from an observer's point of view. I didn't grow up in the arcades, and I was never really into the competitive side of it. I've kind of always geared myself towards broadcast, like, you know, but just from talking to these people and, like, you know, like, boy's first tournament, he starts giving out about, like, you know, that the room is too hot. You're like, come on, dude. First time ever out? Like, get out of here, man. Drink a beer.
Is that real? Like, someone actually did?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Like,
I don't know what to say about that one. Like,
that's somebody who started playing ranked, joined Twitter, saw everything that was happening, like, just from a Twitter point of view, burst offline and was like, oh, I see what everyone is talking about now, like, or whatever. Where it's not real. They're not real people, like, you know. It's just Twitter faces, you know.
I mean, like, I was gonna say it. I was like, you know, I won't say it. I won't hurt anyone's feelings. But like, 90% of the time, the 0-2ers who talk shit, those guys are nobodies that aren't a representation of the community, and like, they're not the people that, you know, everyone looks to for guidance and stuff. And like, there is a certain element of like, if you're a big sort of personality and community member, like, you have to have that element of understanding you're a role model, right? People look at you and they'll do what you do. Whether or not I agree with it, like, I think that's semantics. But like, I think if you're a top player, if you're a community figurehead, you have a honest to God, you have, fam, words are hard, man. I'm a commentator. You have I was gonna say, like, a responsibility to ensure that, you know, the way you act isn't how people are gonna follow, and then sort of like be a detriment to others because of.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, so, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. Great. What's it called? A great, like, actual good role model, right? But one of the people that like do go on Twitter and like start, you know, getting mad at everything, like Punk. Punk goes on Twitter and like complains about a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And like, I am 100% sure Punk is not doing it to be like genuinely mean. There was some like stuff at Combo Breaker, right? Yeah. Where he was complaining about literally everything going on with the pools. And like, that was a genuine mistake from someone. Someone made a mistake and it fucked up the pool. But like, as a community figure, you know that if you say something that's gonna drag somebody, it's not just you that's dragging them, it's also your 50k followers.
Yeah.
You know, your 50,000 followers are gonna go message Rick and say, yo, Combo Rick was shit.
Yeah.
And like, Rick doesn't deserve that. No. So what would the sensible thing be to do? Message Rick, tell him what the problems you had. Because you've got the pool, you've got the cloud, we'll respond to you. Simple.
I would go even farther and I'd be like, that is something to just say with your boys. Like, maybe bring the actual TO out. I wouldn't even message Rick, man. I've talked to Rick a couple of times. That man is probably the busiest dude I've ever met in my life. That dude does hours that humans can't comprehend, dude. Like, he's on a 25-hour-a-day work week, man. Like, you know, he's like, he's hard going, man. Like, that dude, like, I mean, even like, you know, like, for silly stuff about, like, we were talking about the chairs at Evo and the amount of chairs that have to be brought into the building, and the casino has an exclusivity deal with the chair company, so you can only bring in one type of chair into that venue and that sort of stuff.
Wait, no way.
Legit, right? But like, those are the sort of details that he now has to deal with. So if somebody's DMing him about a TO who, you know, messed up a name or didn't call a name loud enough or whatever, dude, that's going straight message requests. No, I didn't see it. Sorry, bro. Like, you know, like, I would, like, I mean, that would genuinely, if it happened to me and I was whatever happened, man, that sucks. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, but especially for like a big named player or whatever, just go next, man. GG, go next. Like, you know, it's not
even from your pocket, bro.
That's it.
Like, you are here for fun, my guy. Like, literally, I don't want to overstate, because obviously if you're a pro player, like, you need results or your team's gonna drop you or whatever. But most of the time, you're there for fun and shits and giggles. You know, like,
dude, if it's not the World Championship, yeah.
Like, you go to the Capcom Cup and shit on everyone there. Like, you don't need to shit on this one event. But like, there have been some shocker events, you know, like some events have had like really shocking solutions and management.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say no names right now, but maybe after.
That's it. Yeah. Get some more of that vodka into you, bro. Like, you know.
Nah.
All right, go on. Tell. What's the worst event? Don't mention names. But what's the story of the worst event you've ever been to?
The worst event I've ever been to.
In terms of like admin management stuff. Do you have any? No.
Okay. I've been to like 5 majors in my life, right?
All right, there could be minors, dude. There could be minors, you know.
Like, no, it's the worst. Funny enough, the worst event I've ever been to is one I ran.
No!
It's one I ran at uni. Like, I ran a fighting game event at uni, and like everything was delayed. Every single tournament was like long. We didn't have the DLC for some games, but like it was bad. But like, I'm a uni student who was doing it for no money, no nothing. You know, I was doing it for funsies. But like the worst event, like I don't think this is like anyone's fault. I think it's just like it's just what happened at the time, you know. But the game that I was called to stream, like to commentate for, wasn't even streamed, you know. Like it was kind of like, and like I'll be honest, like the entire time I'm like holding anger in because, you know, everyone's trying their best, and that's the way I look at it, right? Like if you go to a restaurant and you order a meal and it's late to the table, there's probably other shit going on in the back, you know. Like I can wait 5 more minutes for my food, and that's the way I look at it with TOs and stuff. Like they aren't being malicious, they aren't looking to sort of get one over you. But Dragon Ball wasn't streamed for like the first day.
Jesus.
It didn't have nothing. So I was there. Like I woke up, I had prepped, I had all my shit ready, and I was just like, oh wait, nah, there's nothing happening here. And like to add to it, like I'm here off my own back as well. And as a commentator, that's always like the worst feeling. Like totally. As a commentator, it feels shit when you go to an event off your own back, and then something happens that means you can't do what you want to do because your whole goal there was to commentate.
Yeah.
I am glad. Like I think I'm lucky because there's a bunch of amazing Dragon Ball commentators, right? But I just happened to be the first one to join these guys.
Right.
I'm lucky to be able to like have events where Bandai pays for me to go or the team pays for me to go. But there's still loads of events that I go to and I'm like paying for it off my own back, and then I go there and it's like, damn, maybe I should have stayed at home. And I feel like that's where we're sort of stepping into, especially because of COVID, right? A bunch of commentators were like raised in the online era. You jump on the mic, right? Absolutely free. Or you buy a headset and a computer, get ready, start. You're a commentator now. Whereas like before that, you were paying $600 to go to France or Spain to get even the chance to commentate, right? Even the opportunity to do it. So like, I see a lot of people say like, talk shit. We'll get onto that later. We'll talk about it later. But like, there's an influx of amazing commentators, right?
There is, and
they're all really good. Really good.
Do you find this in Dragon Ball as well? I get like a load of like DM requests for people, and like, do you know, like, hey, would you check out this VOD? I really want to be a commentator or whatever. Just tell me what to do or whatever, like, you know. And I maybe it's just because all we do is sit down and talk, and it obviously comes across natural, but like stuff we do is hard, like, you know. And like I set out like, do you know, almost like a roadmap for anybody that DMs me, and I love new commentators coming up, like, you know. But you know, I tell them, oh yeah, so what you got to do is you got to do this, you got to get better at that, you got to do this, you got to improve that sort of thing, buy that thing, and then fly to that country. And it's usually the last I hear of them, like, you know. Tell them exactly how to do it, and like, you know, because like what you were saying, like I remember going broke one year because it was like I had to fly to 4 different countries in 5 months or something, like, you know. And it's like every paycheck was just like, God, yeah, I gotta find a cheap B&B now in Brussels just to get over there, just because I've heard this event is the business, like, you know. That was the way for us. Yeah, like you have to with commentators from before. I feel like your frequency had to be mad. You had to be at every event commentating anything you could. Yep. Right, and that meant your wallet wasn't enjoying. No way. Like I told you this before, actually, at UFA, right? Like going to Combo Breaker cost me $2,000. Damn. And like that's nuts money to spend. Yep. But I think it's because we have a dream. You know, we have a fucking dream and we want to support it. But no, I have had people come to my DMs, and I stopped doing this in my second year, right? A lot of people will come to me and be like, give me tips on how to be better. And you tell them stuff and you listen to them and they'd be the exact same as they were like 2 months before. Yeah. So like it is, I said, no, I'm not wasting my time on this no more. I will give
like, because I am like, personally, I believe my advice will not help you be a better commentator. It's something you have to see in yourself, because I don't know what you're trying to produce as a commentator.
Fair.
What you produce as a commentator is completely different to what I produce. You know, we are two different commentators. So I can never tell you how to make yourself better, because you know what you're envisioned to give out, right? So most of the time, I'll just tell people, look, here, understand you don't need this much stuff. You know, like, it's mostly just like cleaning up. Find your vision of who you are by yourself and go do events. Because that is literally what everyone else did. It's what I did, it's what you did, it's what C4 did. But it's important to like any commentators that listen to this, like any young commentators that are just starting out, I think number one most important thing is watch your own videos back. Right, your own feedback will be good enough. I promise you, because you will watch those videos back and you will hear yourself say something and you'll be like, damn, I sound stupid. I sound hella dumb. And like, I happen to do reviews of my own VODs like since I started. It's just like my nature. It's just what I do.
Jammers actually told me to do that. He was the first one. He turned me on to that. He was like, just throw it on, throw the audio on as you're cleaning your house the day after. Like, just put it on, just leave it there, because you pick stuff out of the ether and you're like, did I actually just say that? What? Did you go over to the PC, rewind it back, and be like, oh no, you know? And you'll never make that mistake again. Never ever will you make that mistake again. Yeah, 100%.
And I think like with the way, so I said there's lots of good commentators out here. I also think there's lots of bad ones.
There are so many bad ones, and it's so good for us. So good for us.
Yeah, no, keep me mad. I'm not telling you how to fix yourself.
If you compare, like, obviously, like, we all started as crap commentators. I keep putting it down to, it's like playing a fighting game. Like, nobody started good in this world. Like, you know. So when I see like the guys who start, you have to get through that year, maybe a little bit less if you're really, really good. Like a year, maybe 2 years of like making all those mistakes that, you know, everybody made, you know, like the dead silence thing, the, you know, any of those like sins now that like even in real life I can't let slide, like, or anything. But, you know, it's the guys that then push through that and make it to year 3 or year 4 or, you know, even more. Those are the guys that are going to start showing up and you're like, oh my god, there's a new commentator, where did he come from? It's like 3 years of being shit that you never heard of. Like, that's where he came from.
I would like to give my roses out to a certain Dragon Ball commentator, right? Because I think he doesn't get the love that he should. CD Mangaka. That guy is a great Dragon Ball commentator. I would love to share the mic with him one day, and I know he's been working on it for a while. That guy's a great commentator. I think he's like one game away from just like breaking into the ranks. Nice. But it's not easy by no means, you know. Like, it's a lot of graft, it's a lot of working hard, working shifts nobody wants to work, you know. My first big gig was working at 3-4 a.m. doing Japan regional finals.
Damn.
And like I was tired that night. You go back and watch that, right? You could not tell I was sleepy because there were like 4 Red Bulls in my system. Yeah. You know? But like once you do get the opportunity, just grab the ball by its horns, right? And follow it along. That's what you have
to do, man, yeah.
And like I think because commentary is so easy to access now, because you can literally have a computer and mic and like ask someone to commentate. Yep. I think we do have a lot of like commentators who come on and they're like not improving. But I'm not sure. I'm being so careful to try not to raise anything I think C4 said.
Not to talk, man. I tell you what, just go for it, because we didn't really talk that much about commentary. I think C4 just has this whole thing about like I don't know, he thinks he shouldn't get paid or something. I don't know. I don't even pretend to know what he's talking about half the time.
He's a masochist. That's like, I'm a bad commentator. I'm like, are you looking at yourself? Nah.
I was just lucky, man. I was in the right place at the right. C4,
that's
shut
what
up.
Tell me. That's what he'll say. He'll say, oh, yo, like, literally, I'm just mad lucky and other people have helped me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're actually one of the best. And like, it's to the point where other people have recognized he's one of the best.
Dude,
you know?
Tasty like, Steve. Steve was like, bro, sharing a mic with you was insane. He's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Steve, bro, Steve.
Nah, that's the hard imposter syndrome for people. But
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, we have a lot of people jumping into it, who I don't think hold the same values as a lot of the older people that have been doing it. And I'm looking at like Logan, F Word, Jammers, them man, because them man have been doing it for years. Those man are professionals, right? We have a lot of people jumping into commentary now who are like, I'm just gonna come and scream over people, right? And it doesn't feel like the same. It's not the same quality, you know what I'm saying? But the weird thing is, Sam, the community will be like, yo, listen, that was amazing.
Is it?
And I like.
Is it their community or is it the community? Because I've seen a lot of terrible commentators that have, like, 600 followers on Twitter, and they'll be like retweeting a clip, and I see the clip and I'm like, wait, which one is he? The one that can't talk or the one that's talking too much? Like, and they're like, oh my god, epic commentators. Pity Bandai Namco only picked the people in the Illuminati.
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, I actually seen this tweet. There was a tweet where someone, so I'm not sure if you follow like any sort of like Riot stuff, like League stuff. There was someone who saw someone get like a spot on LEC, and they were like, yeah, this person doesn't deserve it. And I was like, yo, you are mad salty. Like, he's like, on the announcement tweet, they quote tweeted it. I was like, yeah, it's kind of painful when people that are worse than you on commentary get commentary. Jeez. And there was only one guy he could have been talking about. I was like, bro, League man, really don't play. I personally could not get caught doing that. I'm the kind of person where it's like, I will say anything that I want to say, like, to the people I trust and my people. But outside, like, I don't think there's any need for it. Like, I might think you're a bad commentator. I'm just gonna wait for you to improve. Like, there's nothing I can say to you unless you seek it that will help you. So yeah, we have loads of bad commentators jumping into it. And I think they're not bad because of what they try to do. I think they're bad because of their complacency in where they are. You know, like, people will be there and like have people say, oh yeah, you're mad good, you're a really good commentator, and they'll be stuck at that part. Right? But what you don't know is commentators are innovating and improving every day. They are like, I can only speak for myself, but like, there's things that I'm doing now that I would love to bring into my commentary game next year, And I know several other commentators who are doing the same thing. They're like, they're always thinking about it, like, how can I make my commentary better? And then you have people who are like, yo, this is a fun thing for me to do on a Saturday night. Cool. And it's levels.
Absolutely. But I mean, so it was one of the first pros I met ever in esports. Just the dude who's really, really good at playing the game. And I was like, what's the difference between a high-ranked player and a professional player? And he goes, treat it like a job, get paid like a job. Treat it like a hobby and get paid like a hobby. Like, and like, that's exactly where, like, if I was talking to myself from 5 years ago, and like, I would not respect the work ethic that I had for commentary at that time, because like, for me, I was just out to have fun. Like you said, cool way to spend a Saturday with my mates, like, getting involved in a Tekken tournament or whatever. Now, like, I think something shifted. I hit my first major or something, and I did it for free for the hotel. Like, I think I just got hotel. I still had to play flights. But from there I was like, yeah, well, this is it now. This is what I want to do. And from then it was just like, push, get better, like, take notes and stuff. Like, writing stuff down is like crazy important for me anyway. That's like, if I'm listening to stuff and I hear like crutch words, they used to get me so much. I said Jesus Christ, I think, about 40 times in a broadcast one time. Just the words Jesus Christ. Like, that was how I'm conveying emotion now. The words Jesus Christ, like, And
so, that's what I mean, like, innovating. Like, literally, every commentator should be aiming to be better than their last event, right?
Straight.
Jammer says this to me all the time, right? You're only as good as your last event, right? So I want to be better than I was last week, right? And granted, you won't reach that, right? There are sometimes, I'll be honest, right? There's some events where, like, I'm commentating, I'm like, this is the best commentary of my life. I'm really feeling it. There's some days where I'm like, I feel like shit right now, but always pushing yourself to be on that next level is something I think I learned from a lot of the old guys. But it's like a lot of new guys just don't have that. They don't have that mentality. And I am praying for their success. I'm praying they get better. But commentary is becoming it's becoming a bit wild. I'm sure you were in the Jammer stream and you saw the Minardi tweet, right?
No.
Where he was like, let me try and find this tweet. But he was talking about how he basically can't listen to commentary because it's bare misinformation. And I'm like, first of all, we talked about this and we were like, listen, as a player, if you have a problem with commentary, speak to the commentator first and foremost. If you think a commentator made a mistake, message the player, send them a clip. Otherwise, your words are futile in the air and they will never improve. They'll still get jobs because they got that job. But message them, let them know.
I have a hot take. Maybe it's not a hot take because I'm almost certain this is facts, man. We don't commentate for top players in any game. Nobody watches it looking for the information. There might be tidbits of information that we say, that's actually -13 on block or whatever. Someone goes, right, okay. For me, my job is the 99% of people who bought the game, played a bit of ranked and be like, I wonder how the tournaments are in this game, and then they see me screaming my head off. So I stopped using notation a couple of years ago. I as much as I can. Stopped using down forward 2, down forward 3+4, Now, I understand it. If I'm bringing my brother and talking about a combo, I'd say, you know the one to start, say da-da-da-da-da, and rattle off the stuff. But if I see a guy doing an uppercut, I think uppercut sounds so much cooler than down forward 2. Because if I wanted to go watch a League of Legends stream right now, I don't care about their builds, man. I'll be honest, what I want to see is explosions and team fights. Do weird expeke backdoor sort of stuff, and have the commentator lose his mind about what's happening and then explain to me in really brief and concise points about why he's losing his mind. I can't believe he just did that. That's never been done before. Nobody has ever done this. Boom. I'm hooked. I'm in the story. If you watch WWE, you could have never watched wrestling before in your life. And they fill you in on 5 years of lore in 10 seconds. So last year's SummerSlam, they faced off like this just before. Now it's boiling down to a fight. And you're like, I'm in. I'm sucked into the story. We don't commentate because the top players know this already. The guys underneath it don't need us to tell them that. They've got frame bots and stuff that are going to tell them exactly what that frame is. So when anybody says, that's not launch punishable or whatever, doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter, because nobody who's watching and actively listening to my commentary and taking value out of it they're not the guys that are going to critique my frame knowledge in a game. They're people who just want to watch a broadcast and be entertained by that. We're just the dancing monkeys here to keep the other side of your brain occupied while you're watching the flashy colours on screen. That's I don't know, man.
I agree with you to an extent, right? Because I think statistically, the number of people in a stream, right? Let's say you have 100 people. 10 of them are going to be completely brand new to the game, right? 10 of them are going to be pro players. And the other 80 in between are going to range from, I've just started the game and starting to understand. I play the game, but I'm not good enough to even go 2-2 at a tournament, to I'm trying to break in to that high upper echelon, right? So statistically, right, the most people are going to sit in that middle area where they've played the game, but they don't know much. I feel like as a commentator, having the sort of niche knowledge where it's like, oh yeah, so in this situation, this happens, right? It can be great in a pinch, but it shouldn't be the crux of your commentary.
Absolutely.
Because if you're commentating for that 10%, well, shit, you've lost the job, mate. Because those 10% will like you. The 90% are gonna they're gonna be like, this guy is hella boring. All he does is shout notations.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, I do understand where Menardi's coming from, because well, if you come out with misinformation, right? If you say, I don't know, Lucky Chloe is one of the best characters in the game. People are gonna pick that up. A
Sure.
lot of people are gonna pick that up and be like, "Yo, listen, like that's." I don't know if Lucky Chloe is one of the best characters in the game, but you know, like that's not right. Something's wrong about that. So I think you have a duty to like keep your finger on the pulse when it comes to the game.
Sure. Sure.
But you don't need to be a genius in some regard. I feel like the grievances with pro players is like this commentator guy who is not a pro player did not understand the situation, right? So tell him he did, because he's not a fucking pro player. I'm not a pro player. Don't ever expect me to be one. The only thing the only reason I would ever want to be a pro player is to understand the mindset they go through, because that's more important to me than any notation or interaction.
Absolutely.
I want to understand what they're thinking. You're down 2-1 in grand finals, right? Last chance, and you switch to this character. Why did he do that? What was going through his head? And like people said it before in the stream, like the best thing we can do in that situation is guess. Like commentators are meant to be educated guessers.
Yep.
We will guess what the person was thinking of doing. Probably 4 times out of 10, they'll come back and say, "Listen, that was not what happened. I completely misinput. I didn't intend that." But 6 times out of 10, they come back and say, "Yo, you were in my head. How did you know what I was doing?"
Yeah.
It's a great feeling. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah. It's a really, really funny medium, because like obviously we're the voice that goes with the VOD, like, you know, but I don't know. I'm just gonna stay back in this. I am not commentating. If you are one of the players on the thing, I'm not commentating for you. Like, you already know what's happening there. You don't need to listen to me. Like, you know, I am commentating for the guy that doesn't know you, and like I'ma just scream out your name and say he did that because he hates the other guy. I don't know if you hate the other guy. We're pools. We're day one, man. We're top 5,456. Have you ever met that guy before? I don't know, man. Like, you know, but you hate him right there. I can tell by your playstyle. You hate him. Look, he's so aggressive now, and he's not normally like that or whatever. I'm telling a story.
That's what good commentators do. They build a narrative that just doesn't exist. They build a narrative that doesn't exist.
Dude.
Well, you don't know it doesn't exist. I know it doesn't exist. Right? But no one cares because you're sucked into it.
Yep.
Right? That is what commentators want to do. They want to build narratives and like build storylines that you can be engaged with.
Oh, dude.
Yes, I'm going to lie completely about that. Like for me, it's WWE.
Yeah,
right?
but that's where I learned to commentate.
Randy, in fact, that's where I started too. I can't lie. Listening to
Mike
JR,
Cole and dude, yeah, man.
like those are the progenitors of our craft.
Yeah.
You know? And like going outside into sports, right? Like you got Peter Drury. That guy is a football poet. That's where we learn it all from, right? And in a way, when you bring it to fighting games, we don't have that same, like, I can't look at your face while you're doing a combo, right?
Sure.
But I'm gonna say that combo came with animosity.
Absolutely.
It came with some sort of like backhand about it, right? And the people are gonna build on it. For example, this dragon player, right, called Inzum. He did some crazy reset to another player, right? He did it 3 or 4 times to end the round.
Right.
And everyone built the narrative that it was disrespectful. He might have thought that's just the best way to finish the round.
Yep.
No qualms against the other person.
Mm-hmm.
But now, in the next time he does, it's like, wow, the disrespect coming out from Inzum again. This is a signature. We know it. Randy Orton does not hate John Cena in real life.
Nope.
But that's what you believe.
That's their
and
job,
that's what
man.
we're here to create. Exactly. That's what we're here to bring.
That's
and
it.
like, I hate when I used to get this a lot. Like when I started, people be like, "Oh, this dunk guy just building false narratives," and I'm like, "Listen, it's part of magic.
Yep.
Either enjoy it or go home. If you can't enjoy the child part of you that says I love the storyline that's going on here, I'm sorry. I can't help you. I can't help you buy into that."
Yeah. Everyone knows Harry Potter isn't real. You still go see the movie.
Exactly.
You know? That's it, man.
Expelliarmus in that.
I'll tell you a story about building narratives. I was doing a show one time, and it was in London, and you know, Rise are one team in London, and ELF are the other team, right? And like in my head, that was like my constant narrative. I didn't really know these players or whatever, so I was like, aye. So here come the Rise boys, and they're trying to knock ELF off the thing or whatever. It's top 8. Coming, I was mid top 8 or something, and I had one of the guys from Rise on the desk with me, two of their players setting up for grand finals. And I was like, oh yeah, so this is a very important win. If he wins now, he knocks the last Rise guy down into the loser's bracket. So, it's going to be tense. And the dude on desk went, we're actually, like, fine. We're cool with each other. Like, we don't have any... There's no beef there, like, whatever. And I was like...
Come on.
Everyone knows that you don't have beef, but, can we not just do the story thing? Like, totally took the wind out of my sails. I was like... Yeah, all right, cool. So he's picking Kazuya now, like, or whatever. I don't fucking know, like,
The game is like actually secondary to commentators, to be honest. Like the game is really secondary. Like because we know the game because we play the game and we love the game, right? If we didn't love the game, we wouldn't be commentating. Because I swear to God, the amount of hours we work for free, it should be a crime. But really, what we want to do is engage the viewer.
That's exactly it.
Engage, like have people sort of feel like they're part of a big crowd, especially online. When people are watching online, we want you all to feel like a big crowd. Obviously, we don't say this on a regular because like that will give away the magic. You don't see fucking Dynamo show you how he made your phone disappear into an Oasis ball, right? We don't say this all the time, but we do have like magic that we want to bring to you guys.
Of course.
But I personally like think we. Have I had? I think personally, like my head's thinking like, is this a good thing to say? I think commentators like should be paid more. Like, outstanding. Like I'm gonna be honest, and like that's without knowing the rates of some of the big guys, right? I don't know how much Tyrant or Damascus gets paid. I know how much I get paid, and for the amount of work that I look at the people around me get paid, I think. Like when you think about it, like how can I describe this? Let's say Tekken is a game. Tekken 7 is a game, right? Let's say you have two events going on, where one of them is run by this is purely hypothetical, by the way. One of them is run by Combo Breaker, and one of them is run by the guys at UFA, right? Let's say they're happening on the same day. If you want to pay a commentator X amount of money, but that's X less than another event, they won't go. I'll like, they're both great events. They're both run by great people. I will go to the one that is more money for me because it's my job. Either way, I'm going to be doing what I was going to be doing anyway, right? When we get to that stage of fighting games where you are now going to have to be competing for the highest caliber commentators, eventually they're going to look at you and say, this isn't worth my time. And it's hard because we are in a situation where it's like, it's grassroots. They are paying out of their own pockets. But there needs to be something to sort of give these commentators, the greatest commentators especially, reasons to go to some of these events. Like, there's a reason you don't see Tasty Steve at the mix-up. It's not worth his time. Like, he's a great guy and he probably would go just because he wants to have fun. Yeah. But like, there's no money in it for him.
You hit a couple of really, really important points there. So about treating it like a job, absolutely. I love going to events. I absolutely. If I could just go to events every weekend, I would be the happiest man. But the thing is if I am going to an event, I need flights, hotel, and day rate. Like, if there's a way around it that I can get a ferry, stay on a mate's couch, and day rate, I'm still happy. Like, I'm not about to go all like diva on this. Like, but
you should.
See, this is the thing, man. I lost a show last year. One show I lost because I charged too much. Ever. And that's like the only reason I have a spot is because one of the other guys was charging too much. That was like my whole thing to success, like, and then the guy who was originally charging too much got the show ahead of me because I charged too much. I was like, Jesus, times have changed, right? But I don't know if I was paid more, I think I would stop being hungry. And I don't know, like, I like the feeling of not being comfortable. Like, like, because it makes me, like, randomly DM people, or like, just I found out, like, when Combo Breaker, I DM'd Rick. It was like, hey, yo, what's going on? How do I get onto the commentary thing? Like, whatever. And like, lucky enough that Rick knows me or whatever, he sent me the link to the link or the Combo Breaker website where it had a commentary application form to fill in. And I was like, oh, of course. Like, you know, but like, I think if I was paid, you know, $5,000 a show or whatever, I would just be like, they'll call me, whatever, like, you know. But I kind of like being hungry. I want to chase these gigs out, like, you know. That's kind of fun, like, you know.
I see what you're saying. Like, the chase is fun. The chase is mad fun. Like, as a commentator, the best ones are always working behind the scenes. Like, they're always working behind the scenes to find the next gig.
Shit, dude. Welcome to Fuzzy Guard, the esports podcast.
Those were the best commentators, 100%. But I did the exact same thing. I messaged Rick about commentary way before commentary was announced.
Yep.
You know, like, he sent me the same link.
Exactly. Sorry, you were saying you messaged Rick anyway? He sent you the same link?
I messaged Rick. Yeah, send me the link, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll jump in, talk to him about a bunch of stuff. That's just the commentator work ethic. Would we lose that if we got more money?
If you were salaried, I think, like, sorry, I say you Dunk,
you
will lose the work. No, I mean, I'm just speaking from us, like, you know, like, I think if I had to, like, show up every day at 9 a.m. and just talk about commentary, and then I do a broadcast on a Friday, and I make more money than I know what to do, I feel like I would hate this job in, like, 6 months, and I would just be like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this now. I'm gonna try be a player or something. I don't, you know, like I like unconventional career choices, like, you know, like, so I was a musician for a long time. I was an actor for a little bit and stuff, like, you know, I kind of chase these. If anybody tells me, no, you can't do that, that's impossible, man, then I'm like, oh yeah, watch me in 5 years, like, you know.
Like, that's how I started in a sense too, you know, like, literally fucking out on the streets trying to make money, and then someone was like, you should commentate, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? So I started doing commentary, and like, I had no money. Like, I'm fresh out of uni, right? I had no money to my name. Ended up getting a job to pay for the commentary stuff, right? And I went to the World Tour Finals for Dragon Ball FighterZ. And that event made me realize that Dragon Ball is what I want. I want to commentate this game. I want to be one of these people here, signing off at the very end when we have a new champion, we have a new crown.
Yeah.
Not have a new person crowned. And like, it is great. I love the feeling of having to work super hard to get to that next level.
Yeah.
And having, like, it sort of builds a mindset of how can I be better than the top 5? Like, if I want to be an event, I have to be better than the top 5 people commentating this game.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I love that feeling. It's great. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I might be good at this shit, you know? I might be good at this shit. I wish I could dedicate all of my time to it.
Dude.
But instead, I'm doing my 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, right? And I would love to spend more time. If Bandai hit me up today and they said, look, we are going to give you 18K yearly to commentate X game, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Easy. 100%.
Easy.
18K is less than what I earn.
Yeah.
You know? But I would do it because, first of all, it gives me some security. I think I can work with the amount of money they have. I can get a part-time job, who cares? But it's more time to spend on the games that I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love commentating. I love it. It's great. But at the same time, I don't have enough time to dedicate to it because I have to do my real life stuff. I'm also a human in the real world, you know? Like, I have to pay. If I don't pay my bills, the water's not coming tomorrow. It's a cold water bath for me, right? Like, I would love to be able to say, listen, I'm dedicating all my time to this, to learn more about Dragon Ball and stuff. But it's hard because fighting games are not esports. And I look at some of the people that I knew back when I was in esports, when I was in uni, right? These people started casting 2 years before I started casting, right? But they started casting League of Legends and not Valorant, CSGO, that kind of shit. Those people are to the stars now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't have it any other way, right? Because I see a bit of their soul dying every time they go to, like, an event. You know, realistically.
Putting on a suit.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's like you lose a bit of yourself. And I'm glad I found my place in the fighting game community because it is a bit different. You know, I still feel like no matter how I am on the mic, I'm still Dunk. You know, Whereas some of these people have to water down their personalities and stuff for what the suits want.
Dude,
I never want to have to do that.
No, I have to tell you this story. So I ended up working with the guys who do the RLCS, the Rocket League stuff, right? One of these guys, Elliot, right? We were doing some stuff, and Tofu Elliot, really, really nice guy, incredible commentator, huge like host in the industry, has done like packs and stuff, like, you know, big guy, right? But we were just saying stuff, and I kept saying, "Oh damn," because I was like, "There's kids around, I can't say oh fuck." So in my brain, oh damn, I was like, "Oh damn, that just happened," like whatever. And he came up to me and he was like, "How do you get away with cursing so much?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, you said damn like every second word." I was like, "What?" It's like, yeah, in Rocket League, you're not allowed to say oh damn because it's offensive.
So whom?
I don't know. People who hate the word damn. I was like, you should try a Tekken show, dude. Like, we're allowed to say fuck once an hour. Like, yeah. that's our we are allotted one. Oh damn doesn't even get counted, dude. What?
You know, if you commentate for like Riot, every time you curse,
they dock your pay. Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, I could not imagine. Obviously when I was like a lot younger, me and C4 would like have a game between ourselves, like who could get the other one to swear first.
Oh no way, dude.
And at one time I was on broadcast and I must have said, "Oh fuck." And I was like I said, "Oh fuck," and then me and C4 looked at each other. He must have smiled. He had the most dirty grin on his face when I swore. And I'm just like, yo, if I was like, right, that's 1K gone already. I'm not even earning that here, you know? Like, it's mad different. It's mad different. But I welcome the change. People are going to call me the devil of esports when it happens. But I will sell my soul happily to pay for what I love.
Rent is expensive, man. Like, as you said, like, you know, the water doesn't come just because we kept our integrity. Like, you know, like I would rather do, you know, 2 shows for the community and 1 show for Coca-Cola, you know, than 90% of the shows I do for the community and then be like, have to quit this like whole commentary gig in 4 years because I'm like, well, I'm just gonna become a IT support specialist, you know, like, you know, I think that there is a little bit of selling the soul, and I think a lot of people don't get that, you know, like that they're like, you know, from a surface level, it looks great, commentary looks easy, we just show up, we get free stuff, Red Bulls and all that, like, you know, and it's the easiest job in the world, man. All you do is talk about your game, man. That's all you do, like, you know. And then they're like, oh, yeah, but no, we're not doing that show because they made too much money last year, so not community work, like, you know. Man, this Captain Morgan and OJ is kind of getting me, man. I like it.
I can't lie, I am already frazzed. Like, I am gonzo. Like, I had to think about what I was going to say like 8 times before I said it because I was like, damn, am I about to kill my career?
You see, so this was the idea, right? That like when I started this, I was like, I love chatting to people, right? And I always had that if you chat to people at a show, you got these kind of weird answers that felt like, I don't know, like press releases or something. You know, I really love the game because it's got really improved netcode. And I'm like, who are you talking to? Like, I don't work for the company. What are you talking about? Yeah, when everybody went out to a pub, you got actual stories and stuff, you know. And, like, obviously, it's a little bit kind of wilder than this gets, like, you know, and people are mentioning names and shit. And they're like, don't ever work for that guy. But, you know, that's kind of the idea that I wanted to replicate that sort of feeling. So I love drinking because I'm Irish. I can say that. No, I can say that because my mom and dad are Irish and I was born in Ireland. So, but you know, that's the whole idea here. Like, you know, keep it casual, keep it like keep it cool. Like, you know, it's just a chat. Like, you know, that's the vibe.
I like the vibe. The vibe is good. It fits me. But at the same time, like, whew, I had drunk a decent amount. So I'm ready to go, not ballistic, but like,
you're about to go in. Let's go.
I'd like to say nice stuff to nice people.
Speaking of, wait. I have to get you to tell this story because. So we all went out to a pub, and will you tell the story about the pinned tweet on your Twitter, dude? That is one of my favorite stories. I tell that to people, like, not in the industry, and they're like, that is the greatest story.
Do you know, that's going to stay my pin tweet. I'll tell the story.
So, just for the record, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, Dunk's Twitter is right under his name. Go onto his Twitter now. Look at his pinned tweet. Like...
well... It was a night. That was a fucking night, right? So, like, was it last day of Paris? It must have been last day of Paris.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We must have been just finished up for the night, and everyone went and got hammered because that's what we do. Have a good time, and our voices are for the masses. You know, we can shout and scream without worrying about anything. So, if anyone like wants to know, I'm a lightweight. I'm a massive lightweight, right? Like, this drink is already doing me up. But I had like a Long Island iced tea, like a real Long Island iced tea. I was waved after that. And I think I was playing Smash with Tony, and I get to the bar and I see Luffy's playing rock paper scissors. Not Luffy from One Piece. Luffy, the Street Fighter champion.
Just for anyone who doesn't know, Luffy won Evo. He's like a celebrity in our industry, and he owns the bar and is working behind it. Like. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Oakenshield Tavern, is that what's called?
The Oakenshield Tavern, yes sir. Yeah. City Centre, Paris.
If you go to Paris, go to that bar. That bar is fire. So imagine I'm there, and I'm like, I see people are 1v1 in Luffy and rock paper scissors for shots. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I was when I'm drunk, I just think to myself, damn, I'm the best fucker alive. So I was like, yeah, I'm fucking fighting Luffy 1v1. Go up to him, rock paper scissors. First time, I get 3-0. I get completely fucking washed. And like, he's like, okay, you have to do shots. And I think I did. It must have been like 2-3 shots of tequila or whiskey. Did not go down well. Inside knowledge, I was about to throw up there and then. I was gonna chuck my guts up, right? But for some reason, Drunk Dunk never gives up. So go back again. This time, I win 2-0. I'm winning 2-0. Right? He brings it back. 2-2. Last one, someone whispers in my ear. I think it's Jake. He's like, go for this one. And I'm like, yeah. I come back to him. And immediately in my mind, I was like, I'm not going to do what I think I should do. So whatever you fucking told me, he was like, go rock. I'm going scissors. Because that's the win. That's what it is. I go scissors. He goes rock. He ends up beating me 3-2. It's getting to the point like where the bar is about to close, right? They're calling for last drinks and shit. And I'm like, nah, I can beat this Luffy guy. So we all come out of the bar. And obviously there's no drink outside the bar. So we're just been chilling. I'm like, look, yo, give me my run back. Rock, paper, scissors one more time. And he's like, oh, no drinks, but if I win, he's gonna post on my Twitter. And if Luffy wins, he'll post on my Twitter. And if I win, I'll post on his Twitter. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do this because I'm not a bitch. I probably shouldn't have done this. I was so fucking hammered.
For reference, I think at the time, because you told me that night, you had like, I think it was 300 or 400 followers on Twitter. I think Luffy had like, what was it, 15,000 or something?
Yeah. It was in my favor. That shit was in my favor, right? If I get a tweet out, that's my views. So I was like, yeah, okay, you know what, fuck it, I can't lose here. If Luffy posts on my Twitter, I could just say the next day that was fucking Luffy. Although I was kind of worried. I was like, what is he going to post? Is he going to get me cancelled or some shit? So, rock, paper, scissors, going at it, gets to 2-2. Last one, I swear to God, we are drawing like 3 or 4 times in a row. And eventually I'm like, yeah, fuck it, go, rock. I beat him. And in the moment that I beat him, I don't know what Holy Ghost took. Like, took after my soul. I ended up taking my shirt off,
yes,
throwing it to the ground, screaming in the fucking streets of Paris, I'm the fucking best. Screaming, I'm the fucking best. I'm the best alive. Start popping the fuck off. And then Luffy is like, yeah, no, GG's, man. I'm going to follow you. You're a good guy. And he's like, yeah, you can tweet from my phone. What you guys don't know is his phone was in fucking... He had a French keyboard.
Oh, he did a ZERTY keyboard, yeah.
So I was... Imagine, I'm off my head looking at this. I can't type. So I typed like the shortest sentence I can. I think it was like, Dunk is the best player alive.
Yeah.
And I read to it. I was like, yeah, thanks, mate. Just another day in the office, you know?
I love because we were all there, like, and we were like, because you didn't say anything. I think everybody was like, what are you going to tweet? What are you going to tweet? What are you going to tweet? Or whatever. And you like walked away. You still had no top on, no shirt, on the street. And you just had his phone and you like walked away. You like tweeted something. And you just gave his phone back to him. And he looked at it. And I remember the like fear in that man's eyes of like, because you might have got that guy cancelled. Like, you know, he had, what, 12 or 15,000 followers or something, man. I have no idea, but he, like, took his phone back and he was like, oh, that's actually not so bad. Thank you so much for that, man. Much appreciated. Good game. Fist bumped you and then, like, walked away. Like,
it was actually such a tempered tweet from me. I could have, like, I had so many things I could have said. You know, like, I could have said some crazy shit. But in my head, like, I wasn't thinking. It was the drink that was thinking for me.
This just in, Luffy just got dropped from a sponsor because of a tweet.
I was thinking to myself, if I do a crazy tweet, he's just gonna delete it, right? I need this tweet to immortalize me, right? I will never forget that night because of that tweet. Every time I go on my own Twitter, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm the fucking best. Yeah, I beat Luffy.
It was so good.
I beat Goichi in tournament once. I beat Luffy in rock, paper, scissors. How many people could say that? Like, I'm literally crazy. Nah, let me not toot my own horn. Let me be humble. I'm only the second best fucker alive. The best fucker alive is actually Sam.
Sam? What? Who that?
Nah.
Who that, man? Dude,
Sam, we had a time. We had a moment.
Dude, we had a beautiful... Or so, for anybody that doesn't know, we broke into the press area. I say we broke in, right? There was the stairs, but it was the press area of a tournament. I don't want to mention any names, but they were giving out free champagne at this. So, God bless Acoustics. That man is an animal. Like, that when we sat down at this table in the press area, and, like, there's, like, bloggers, YouTubers, journalists, like, this is their Monday to Friday. We were sat up there weekend away with the boys attitude, like, you know. So Acoustics, man. I love that guy so much, man.
Nah, Acoustics is alright.
Did these French ladies that were serving out the champagne. Acoustics. I met him at, like, do you know, so say you finish your block at what, 12 or 1 or something. And then I just wandered over there or whatever. I see Acoustics up there. He's talking to someone or whatever. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? He was like, he had maybe 2 or 3 glasses of champagne and of that. And he was like, oh, do you need a drink off my girl? And I was like, your girl? And he walks up to the bar and he goes, oh, enchanté. Like, you know, he starts speaking this New York French chatter, man. Like, you know.
No, bro. Acoustics is actually a fucking amazing guy, and he can handle his drink too. Like, keeping up with Acoustics is a futile attempt.
Yeah,
truly.
Yeah,
truly.
Although, do you know who he rates as a drinker? Tyrant. He was saying Tyrant can drink, and like Tyrant stays quiet, bro. Tyrant just sits and he drinks and he's a good time. He chimes in on some stories or whatever. But dude, I swear to God, and you'll notice this at the next show. Tyrant, when he arrives at like wherever you're drinking or whatever, leaves in exactly the same state. He does not. He doesn't like, how are you getting on? Like, or whatever. He's just like, you know, he'd say something like, yeah, bro, it's so late. And then like, say that at like 9 p.m. and then at 4 a.m. he goes, yeah, brother, I'll go to bed. Like, you know, exactly the same. Dude doesn't change, man. He is a drinker, dude. He can hold his stuff, like, you know.
Meanwhile, me and like Glove Crew are just falling over ourselves, like trying to compose ourselves. Like there was a moment where like we were outside of the hotel, right? And like I didn't know this. Someone had to tell me. We were outside of the hotel, And I must have been screaming at like 3 or 4 a.m. in the
You
morning.
were.
Like,
You were.
I'm
I
the
was there.
fucking best.
I,
And I was like, why do I do all of that shit, man? But meanwhile, Tyre, like, I think I had a beer with Tyre, like, on one of the last nights. And the guy is just stoic as fuck. Like, he is so chilled.
Totally.
And
What a dude.
Most of the commentators that you see, right? You think they're going to be mad Hollywood and like they won't give you the time of day. They are the nicest guys ever.
Totally.
Like honestly, they are so fucking nice. Like,
yeah.
Who was a good example? I think apart
Tasty
from you,
Steve,
like,
dude. Like no, Tasty Steve hit me.
Because I was scared.
Oh, dude. Like so, like. Just because I think because I'm in Tekken and because he loves doing Tekken and he's like the big guy for Tekken, that he got like brought to a couple of the shows I was doing and exactly the same. Tasty Steve is the man, like, you know, you don't just walk up to Tasty Steve, like, you know.
Exactly.
But I tweeted at him, like, just DM'd like about longevity in the industry, you know, because it was something I was getting worried about, like, you know, because I saw like new guys come up and then are never heard of. They do 2 or 3 really good shows and then just not show up again, like, you know. And like they were only kind of pools commentators or whatever, and kind of the top 2 or top 3 or whatever have kind of been the same for the last couple of years. Same as every game really. But so I just, because I had met him once or twice or whatever, and I just said, look, if anybody's known about longevity, it's Steve, like, you know. I tweeted at him, no reply at all, right? Then we were, I can't even remember what event we were doing, but he, like, we were just in a production room chatting, talking shite, like, you know, commentators talk, like, and he just said, hey bro, I saw your tweet, sorry I never replied to you, whatever, do you want to go get a beer now and we'll talk about that? And I was like, serious? Like, you know, he was like, yeah, let's go to the bar in the hotel. We sat and chatted for like an hour and a half, just me and him, exactly about longevity in the industry. And like he was telling me his story and how he kind of concretes his spot in each game that he touches and this sort of stuff, and like super insightful about the industry and where the industry as a whole is going and that sort of shit. And I was just like, that is not what I expected from, you know, Papa Hollywood here in our industry. Like, you know, you can't touch Tasty Steve, man. He's the big dog, like, you know.
Who would you like to have a drink with, like, from the fighting game community? Who's your top 3 most wanted drinks list?
That's really interesting. That's a great question. I feel like I want to go and sit and have a conversation with Sonic Fox. Just purely because I feel like, because he's made a living off being hyper aggressive in video games. Now I'm gonna break my rule of fuzzy guard that I actually talk about fighting games, like at the root level. But he operates a super aggressive play style in everything that he does. So I just want to break that down and kind of see. And I feel like he's a really, really interesting person. I get confused sometimes. But they are a really interesting person. Second, I don't know, I feel like somebody weird. Like, I would love to meet, like, do you know, like the social media manager for Riot or something, because I feel like they would have like crazy stories just of like being in the office and that sort of stuff. And then I don't know, I tend to have really good conversations with most people in the industry, because I think we're all in this weird position that we love what we do but we hate what we do at the same time. Do you know, like,
like you'll sit around talking shit about it, but you wake up next morning, I can't wait to do it again.
Of course, yeah. You know, like, I'm just like, I'm like, I hate hotels, but book me into the next one, bro. Like, you know, so like, I don't know, I like coaches. Coaches are really, really weird. I met a Rocket League coach in London one time, and we had the most interesting chat, because I played Rocket League, I commentated Rocket League for a little bit, but like, this guy had such weird insights, and like, they all have like 3,000, 4,000 hours in the game, but it's all spectating. So like, they're not high level players, but they can analyze like stuff, like, and they have spreadsheets of boost management and that sort of stuff. So I think I would like to talk to, like, do you know, something like a StarCraft or a League of Legends or a Dota coach, because I feel like they've got to be the smartest people, right? Like just on that kind of numbers breakdown. What about you? Who would you?
I knew my number one before I even asked the question. Margin Obama. Margin Obama is number one because that guy is like, I've been watching his stream since I started watching fighting games. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he is a wealth of knowledge. I'd love to go to Japan and drink with him. I feel like he'd have loads of knowledge, not just about like fighting games and like commentary, but like life in general. He seems like a good guy. My second guy would be Captain Flowers. He's like a League of Legends commentator, right?
Yeah.
And to give you some insight, when I was starting commentating probably like a year or two ago, I sent like a random DM, right? Commentators do that regularly. Sure. Like if you look at commentators' DM list, like 10 out of the 50 people in there, they probably don't like have direct correspondence with. They just message him off a whim. But I messaged him, I was like, look, how can I improve this in my commentary? Because you do it really well. And he got back to me and helped me.
Sick.
I really do appreciate that. And this is some big fucking guy. Like he literally doesn't have fucking time for me, right? So I really appreciate that. And then one day I was like, oh, let me send him like one of the clips of some of the work I did. And be like, look, I fucking did it. I did it, Dad. You know, like that kind of shit. I was like, even if he doesn't respond, who cares? He liked it, responded. He's like, oh, that's fucking sick, dude. Captain Flowers, stand-up guy. I'd love to have a drink with him.
That's crazy.
And then my last guy, who would my last guy be? I think it'd probably be like Rick. Rick from Rick the Huddle guy. Yeah, because I remember we were outside of UFA waiting to get our badges pre-release, like for commentating and stuff, and talking to him about the wings and everything. He just seems like the kind of guy. Yeah. You remember? Like he's one of those guys. Like I feel like I could ask about anywhere in the world, and he'd know like exactly what to do, where to go.
He'd tell you some good steakhouse, like close to the venue or something like it.
Rick will just know about places in my hometown that I didn't know about. You know, like Rick seems like that kind of guy, and like genuinely would love to like learn more from him, but at the same time like kick it back and chill. You know, because I feel like being Rick, because you don't know everyone, you probably have to be a bit careful in terms of like who you're talking to and whatnot. But I'd love to have like a relaxed conversation with him. Just ask how he is, you know, have a good time.
Yeah. That's a really good answer. I should have put Rick in mine.
That's another job you lost. Combo breaker not this year.
Damn shit. All right. Well, I'll just stay at home. I'll do Europe again. Yeah, man, commentary is weird. And like me and C4 had this chat about like networking and how networking is like, you know, some people say it's like 30%, other people say it's like 80% of what we do and stuff. But C4 told me, he was like, I hate doing it. I cannot do it. I can't shake hands. Like I can't like smile and nod at people that I don't really know and that sort of stuff. But like, I don't know, like I feel like that's such a huge part of what we do. Like getting to know, so that when I send my reel to you, you already know me as, oh, that funny Irish guy. Yeah, let's get him on. Like, you know, instead of who is SamDDing? Like, I never heard him. You know? Yeah,
like literally half the reason I got drunk and told Dr. Doya I was going to beat the show. You know, like you have to find a way to make people remember you. Otherwise, they won't.
Fair.
It is. I understand where C4 is coming from, because like when it comes down to it, I'm like an introverted guy, really shy. I don't want to talk to nobody. You know.
Fair.
I was about to be a bar. But like I'm a really guy. Like I don't like talking to many people. And like when people come to me at tournaments and like, hey, Dunk man, what's up? I'm like, hi. I'm gonna disappear now. You know, I'm really genuinely a shy guy. But it's really important, like as a commentator, to like talk to people.
It is so important.
Not just like people in big places, like the community as well.
Yep.
I feel like
you're the face.
Yeah, exactly. You are the face, and people look at you and they're like, oh, when I talk in chat, Dunk knows who I am.
Yeah.
When I see him at the tournament, oh, you'll finally know. And it's like, no, I don't. I kind of forget most of you guys, like in the nicest way possible. And that's because half of you guys, they say a lot of shit. So half of you guys are mean guys. I remember the nice guys though. But it's really nice to talk to the community, understand how they feel. And like sometimes you'll get like community members come to you and be like, yo, I love your commentary, dude. And it's, I don't think people understand how much that means to commentators.
Dude, it's fucking awesome. That is like I don't care about talking to companies about how much I'm getting paid. Like if some dude, fucking story, right? So I was doing a show, I don't even remember where the fuck it was, but I was Birmingham. That was it. And I was in the airport, and I had an early flight back. And dude, don't ever catch me at the airport, man, because I'm not in the mood to talk to anybody. I have my earphones in, I have my neck pillow on already, and I'm playing the Switch. That's my vibe. Don't look at me, don't talk to me. I'm in my world. I'm waiting to get home and go to bed, right? And I get this tip on my arm like that, right? The earphone comes out. I'm in an airport. I think there might be something wrong, right? I turn around, right? Hey, SamDDing! I'm like, fuck. My heart sinks, and I'm like, I do not have it inside me to be a fucking personality, right? It's one of the fucking players who made like top 3 at the tournament, right? Lovely dude, Banana. I'm gonna have him on the podcast. Super, super nice guy. But like, he stopped me to tell me he appreciated the nice things I said about him on commentary. And I was like, shit, dude, I could have said fucking anything, right? But he was explaining to me, right, that in Europe, because English isn't the first language spoken by all countries, for people who are into fighting games, use commentators to help them learn English. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Are you serious? I've benefited like Banana's speech, like that he understands a rural Irish accent better than like Americanized English. I was like, that is crazy. Like, so like those weird little tidbits of kind of joy and shit, man. That's what we're doing this shit for, man.
Yeah, I remember the first time I ever like welled up at some feedback, and it was Seihan, a Dragon Ball FighterZ player, and he was like, dude, I love it so much when you're on commentary. Whenever you commentate my games, I always feel like I get some sort of power up from it. Like, it feels like a big moment and shit. And like, I'm the kind of person who's like I'm gonna be honest with you. If someone came up to me, it happened to me at UFA for the first time. If someone came up to me while I'm on my plane to go away, I'm gonna find an excuse to go somewhere else. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna be honest, especially in those situations, because like I'm like
airports,
I'm like in my social shell. You know what I'm saying? Like I bear in mind when commentators are in the venue and shit, they're spending most of the time like being your personality, right? So it's really, really important to get that alone time for yourself, you know. But I got the message and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking cry. Someone enjoys my commentary. And it wasn't just like they enjoy it, it's like they look forward to every time I'm on the mic. And like, for some commentators, it's like it's the only reason why they're carrying on. You know, they carry on because of the good words of the community. And like, we probably get like 90 or so messages every stream chat of someone hating on our commentary for some reason. There's loads of it, and it hurts. I remember like my first big event, someone's like, who's this fucking British guy? Get him off. And I was like, what have I fucking done to you, you prick? I've done fucking nothing to you. So like we get loads of messages of hate, and like when you get the nice ones, it's like, damn, like,
dude, there's a reason. I had the director of Tekken tweet out that my commentary is his favorite commentary of the year, right? And like, for me, as a fucking stupid white Irish boy, that, like, for the dude that like directs the game, he lives in Japan, he works in the Bandai Namco head office, like, you know, for him to tweet that out was insane, right? So immediately, like, I DM'd him, I was, oh dude, thank you so much for saying such nice things or whatever. Like, first comment underneath the message was, yeah, I've been following for a little bit, it's awesome, like, to see is really cool, like, or whatever. Second message, something similar. Third message was, it was actually quite funny, because the dude said, my reaction times have increased over the last year at how quick I will mute a stream when SamDDing is on it. And not that I'm dwelling on it and I know exactly verbatim what he tweeted, but that, like, so this was when I decided to embrace positivity on Twitter, right? That I was like, this was such a huge thing for me. And this random no-name put up some weird hate shit or whatever. And I was just like, that hurt my feelings now, like, you know. And then, like, I don't know. I took a day, thought about it, and I was like, no, that's the director of Tekken. Like, that's the only reason he had a platform to say that shit, like, you know. But yeah, I totally see what you mean about that sort of, the nice comments are so nice, but it just kind of makes the shit comments a little bit shitter, like, you know.
Bro, and the shit comments are real, like, I don't know about every commentator, but like, at least me and Sam, if you say something shit to us, we will read it and we will remember it. Like, I will go home, sit there and be like, damn, he said I should shut the fuck up, is he right?
Yeah. Do I have a 60s porn stash? Do I? Is that something?
It's like, I don't think people realize that we are just some guys too. We are literally guys as well. Like, so like, imagine someone put you on the fucking screen and like started making fun of you or started saying shit about you. It would hurt, you know? And like, everyone's like, oh, just don't read chat and whatnot.
That's my rule. Them. I had this. Don't even have it up. So when I started, I was like, oh, it's a great sense of feedback about how you're doing. You can answer questions from chat. Nope, don't do it. You get paid exactly the same whether you say, hey, Swagmeister 420. Yes, I do think that was minus 14 to if you have no idea who Swagmeister 420 is, man. Like, you know, you're paid the same. And we're not paid as like chat enforcement agents, like, who are going to like, I don't know, man. I couldn't. I had
people
to stop.
get those messages off, man. Like, it's like I look at it and I'm like, because I look at chat. I think you can look at chat
every time.
Yeah. I'll have chat open every single time. Every single
risky.
time. And like, I have like, after years of abuse, I have learned how to selectively shut out some of these messages temporarily. You know, like I'll read someone say some shit about me and I'll be like, we'll leave that in the back of the closet to deal with when we go to bed, you know? But like, I'll read chat just because I like the feeling of it being me and like 5,000, 10,000 dudes watching a video game.
Fair.
And like having fun with it. And like, I'm not going to let some shithead ruin it.
I like the idea, and I think the thought is real nice, but we've all been in Twitch chat, you know?
I don't know what's worse, Twitch chat or Twitter. Because, like, Twitter is where people really let loose. Like, when someone hates you on Twitter, they will say it. And, like, I to this day, I've never got, like, direct abuse. Like, no one has ever said underneath my tweets, like, oh, you are a shithead. But, like, I've been into other threads where I see people say shit about me, and I'm like, like little puppy dog face, oh, no, someone hates me. Anyway. Yeah. And it's like, you kind of have to move on about it, but it's I think a lot of people don't realize that your negative comments aren't just going to like an AI. We are really people, you know what I'm saying? We are really people, and we can be affected by it. Our job is to not be affected by it, but like I do not envy some of the people that jump on commentary, especially like in situations like women or minorities, where they jump on commentary and they have some like crazy shit said about them. And I'm just there like, how do people get this off in chat? Like, how do you type this, look at it and say, you know what, that's something I would say? Because if that was in the venue, I guarantee you they wouldn't say it. They wouldn't have the confidence to say it.
No. Dude, there's a girl, I'm a name her, man, because she's an awesome commentator, awesome person, Pink Cherry, man. She is so cool, man. Very, very, like, she wants to be a really good commentator, and you can tell just by the way she asks questions. She doesn't ask, hey, would you look at this? She says one specific thing. She's like, is my delivery for this thing good? Like, and you're like, damn, man, that's something. She doesn't need me to tell her she's good. She wants a critique on this particular type, like, or whatever. But she got picked to do commentary with one of my boys, and she put up a tweet saying that everybody was giving her so much shit because she's a girl, like, you know, and like they were like, oh, don't put a girl on commentary when all other like male commentators are working hard or something. I can't remember. There was all this like, do you know, the fucking stupid ass Twitter shit, like, you know. So I DM'd her and I was like, hey, don't fucking mind that shit. Like, do you know, it's easy to look in your rear view mirrors and see shitheads. Like, focus on the windscreen, like, you know. But she hit me up and she was like, oh, thank you, like, whatever, can you review some VODs for me or whatever. That's when she started kind of like sending me specific shit, like, and stuff. But she's now left Tech and FGC. She can't deal with any of the shit. Like, she just like, fuck all of these people. And we've had like long conversations on Twitter. Just like, she sends me tweets like that. Don't tag her in it, but obviously somebody has sent her or whatever and be like, yeah, it's fucking so bullshit how Bandai Namco are allowing women commentators on with their screechy voices. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But exactly what you said. Who wrote that out, looked at it and went, no, that's good. Tweet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's crazy. And like, I have so much respect for every woman that does drop on commentary in this environment, because the FGC is not good at welcoming people at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, I almost get get really upset sometimes when I see like really good commentators lose their way and their path because of that kind of chat. Which is where like I start to question, like, is it really a community? Because I don't share the values that these guys do.
Fucking A, man. That's the fucking C4 thing. What does he say? He's an FG head. He's not FGC.
Exactly. Like, I play fighting games and I'm part of the fighting game scene, but the community part, nah. Sometimes I don't feel like that. Cause
it's the new school, bro. I'm telling you, we're back in full circle, man. These fucking new kids.
I think this was part of old school too. I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Real shit.
Okay.
Real shit. I think the fighting game community is a massive circle jerk, where people will rehash their beliefs and opinions based on what their favorite person is saying, right? Okay. If their favorite person is saying, I hate grapes, they will look at it and say, I hate grapes. If their favorite person says gravity doesn't exist, they will look at it, jump in the air and be like, I brought myself back down. You know, like it is scary how big of a circle jerk it is, right? And like I first experienced that, like the first time I ever got into like some sort of FG like controversy, right? Where people just weren't looking or listening or reading for that other side. And it's kind of where I empathize with Arturo, right? Because, well, like being as objective as I can, people had already decided about like whether he was guilty or not before he'd said anything, you know?
Yeah,
like that's just how the fighting community is. Like they jump on shit and they really attack it.
Yep, absolutely, dude. I tell this story all the time, but like I got jumped on for being a racist, because I said
that's a stretch.
This was the clip, verbatim what I did say. Everybody knows brown is more aggressive than black and white, and I was speaking to the nature of bears because the man had switched from Kuma to Panda. Now, in hindsight, my phrasing probably wasn't the best, and I probably should have said, everyone knows brown bears are more aggressive than black and white bears. I didn't, because I was, after a 3-hour broadcast or whatever, I've made all of my excuses or whatever, but that shit got clipped, and I was a racist. That was it. Yeah, I am an absolute
And the thing
racist.
is, that could have been explained, right? It's like, what did you mean by this, Sam? I was referring to bears, because everyone does know brown bears are highly aggressive.
If you 10 seconds before that clip or 10 seconds after that clip, you would have known. You would have known, like, you know, because my co-commentator laughed and went, ha 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 ha. Everyone was making that joke, like. But yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. That sort of just one person says it and then everyone goes, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We do hate this guy, and it's fucking scary. I can't lie, it's fucking scary. Because if one person doesn't like you, like let's say one influential figure in the community doesn't like you, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, no, I've got 3 influencers in the community that really don't like me.
Fair.
God, man, I influencers as a word I really don't enjoy, and I understand that there's a lot of people, especially in our circle of people, that do influence communities. Like, you know, if you think about Jammers, if Jammers gets a sponsor, you can best believe some people are about to buy whatever sponsor that is, right? I would call that an influencer, but I wouldn't call Jammers an influencer. Like, you know, I feel like Jammers is an esports professional, like, you know, but these just, do you know, I feel like if they just botted a Twitter account and got 10,000 followers or whatever, and then just attached a face to it, then these people just somehow have a successful Tekken Twitch career. They've never entered a tournament. They're not so great at like anything. Man, I'm calling these people out. Like, you know, like I had a guy he didn't know who I was. That's a lie. I mean, he had tweeted about me before in a real subtle, sarcastic, shitty sort of way. That I think it was something along the lines of, I'm not sure if Irish people are great for commentary. I was like, fucking, well, you know, it was something really weird, lucky, charmy type stuff. But like, whatever, you know, it didn't affect my invoice, like sending out rate, like, you know. So I literally took no notice until he called out one of the boys from London, right? He's a TO. He didn't know he was attached to Bandai Namco and Capcom. But the dude like called him out. He said, if anyone of your team ever comes to Germany, they'll know what's about to happen. Like, I have a gang of guys waiting for anybody on your squad. Little did he know that this man's squad is Bandai Namco. For the show, he got banned for life from one of the tournaments or whatever. But I was flying to Germany about 3 months after this, so I rang the dude, and I'll tell you after the broadcast. But he's friends with one of these guys, man. And this guy, he's a commentator as well, like, but he's a personal trainer. That's his job. Boy. Dude is huge, massive guy. Like, now, one of the sweetest boys, like a Jamaican London, like, you know, like speaks patois and all this, like, you know, but a big boy, like, you know. And what the dude said to me was like, if I told him about it, he would hunt him down, like, you know, because this dude was calling out his parents, he was calling out like his like culture, like the whole thing, like went like full racist on it, right? But so I was heading to Germany anyway, and I arrived, grand, and I'm talking to some of the guys about it, like some of the guys in the kind of scene. Like, I said, "Oh, do you know about this guy?" He said, "Oh, that guy, yeah, he's a loudmouth." And I was like, "Yeah, do you know, like, he nearly got like banned from, you know, a lot of shows, like globally, like." And they were like, "Oh no, he just uses that for clicks." And I was like, "Wait, everybody knows this here, like, and nobody has called him up and said, hey, don't do that." Like, literally the dude just did that whole shit just to raise awareness,
drive interactions, yeah.
Like, and I was like, surely he's got buddies that are saying like, that's not the route you want to follow, like. But you know, like, I was kind of shaping up as I'm getting off the plane in Germany. I'm like, all right, I'm part of this guy's crew. Like, you know, am I about to have to throw down here to get into the venue, like, or whatever? But, like, it happened in that, like, as soon as I arrived in the venue, I had to tell the TOs. I was like, so, this happened. I'm not about to start anything, but just so you know. And I explained that whole story, and I said, I'm part of this guy's crew. Like, we're part of the same production team. And I think that's what he was referring to. And they were like, yeah, no, don't worry, he's banned from here. And I was like, okay, weird. And yet he is couple of thousand subs on YouTube, couple of thousand followers on Twitter, you know, like,
it's insane. And it's like, sometimes I do fear for my safety. Like, I remember the first big controversy I was ever involved in. I was gonna say, like,
imagine if some dude just came in and started like wailing on you. The first big controversy I've ever. Oh wait,
I won't lie, it scared me more than anything, because like usually when people hear me talking, they're like, "Oh, let's leave him alone." But it came in, just check on me, so we're good. Where like first ever big controversy I was involved in, was a couple weeks before my first trip to the US, or my first trip for fighting games to the US.
Yeah.
And I went there, and I was like the entire time I was thinking like, damn, someone might shoot me. Someone might get pissed enough to really take a shot at me for like some reason. But then like you go there and like half the people are like, no, we literally don't care. Like, we're happy to have you here. You know, let's have some fun. And it's like when you think about the fighting game community, it's like you have to narrow it down. Because like, are we gonna say the fighting game community is all the people that are online and everything? No, because like they're not representative of what the fighting game community at a lot of these events are.
Correct.
Because 99%, everyone there is just nice as fuck.
Yep, absolutely. Like, but the problem with the whole FGC mantra is that everybody's welcome. Everybody has a stage to project their voice, and I mean, this might sound a bit right-wingy of me, but like, you know, there are some people stupid enough that they should not be allowed Twitter, they should not be allowed Twitch, they should not be allowed YouTube. But like, I mean, you know, I understand that's a slippery slope of where do you draw the line between, you know, if I think he's an asshole and somebody else thinks he's, you know, God's gift to positive mental health or whatever, like, you know, like, I mean, where's the line? But you know, I've just seen, like, when I heard about that, you know, I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so like, you know, if somebody was talking shit, that meant that they like had an actual problem, and like, you know, shit got sorted, like IRL, like, you know. Whereas now it's like people had problems with one of my good mates, like, or whatever. I was like, well, I'm going to Germany, fucking show up, like, you know, what's going on, like, you know. No, he chose it was better for his career to not show up. It was like, yeah, fucking A1, dude, like, you know. And then still he's fucking involved in another controversy now. There was a death threat sent to a player and some shit. I was just like, it's
just a lot. It's a lot for fighting games, you know.
We play video games, dude. Like, like we're all here like fantasizing over some Japanese sweaty men here. Like, can we not fight about this for a minute? Like, you know,
let's just chill. It's
surreal.
Have a good time, because that's what it's about. Like, that's what we're all here for. But not everyone gets that memo, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a funny world. It's totally surreal to imagine. Like, oh, that's the question I ask. How do you explain to your parents what do you
do? Okay, so this is hella deep, actually. When I started commentary, I actually left, like, I basically ran away from home. Like, my parents wouldn't understand what I was doing.
Oh my god, you did tell me this. You told me this at UFA. Yeah, tell it again. Sorry.
So actually, like, I came out of uni and I was like, yeah, I want to commentate fighting games. And like, my parents are like, they're like most Nigerian fucks around. Like, they are super Nigerian and they wouldn't take that for an answer. They wanted me to stop playing games as soon as I got to sixth form, you know. So when I decided I wanted to commentate stuff, I basically left home and I lived with my girlfriend at the time, and I was commentating there, working at like a clothes shop to get money to pay for stuff, and like not until probably about Combo Breaker last year, got to Combo Breaker last year, and I told my dad and my mum, all of my family, listen, I'm going to be on the show, come watch. So they came on and they watched. I didn't know, I was just doing my thing. And then my dad must have messaged me, like after the show. He was like, yo, I'm like super proud of you.
Damn.
And then I went to my hotel room and broke down into tears. I was like, shit, man, this means so much to me. And then like I got home and talked to my parents about what I'm doing, and they were like, look, listen, like, you have to understand that we were scared, because like they don't understand like games and shit. Like, they don't understand that there could be a career in it. They don't understand that it's a passion. But now that we can see you're actually doing stuff, it's like, it's really hit home that you're not just wasting your life away. And it was like a big moment for me. It was a big like growing up moment. It was like, look, finally they understand my passion and stuff. But then like I have like random colleagues and friends who ask the same questions, like, oh, what do you do on the side? And it's like, yeah, I'm a commentator for sports, you know, or like I work in the broadcast team, and it's just so much easier to explain than saying I'm a commentator for this specific fighting game. But with my parents, it was definitely the hardest. Like explaining to my friends, they were like, look, listen, like, you have talent, you just need to like have that commitment and that drive. But explaining to my parents was like the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
They were probably the last people to believe in me, but I'm glad I had their belief now, to be honest.
That's good, man. That's a super sweet story, man. Like, I like that. Like, I mean, it's funny because I feel like where esports is now, it was the same as like the music industry was like back in like the 40s or 1940s. And you know, if you said I'm leaving home to join a rock band, everyone was like, guy's about to be homeless, like, you know, see you later, bro, like, you know. But like now, you know, like, and it's funny because for every dunk there's 2 people that didn't make it to where Dunk was, like, you know, and like, and a lot of it comes from inside of people, that you get to that kind of final step, which is the hardest step to take, and they say no, I'm backing down there, like, you know, and then you have to kind of return home and say sorry to everybody.
Yeah, and it's scary. Like, it's scary to realize that you're at the mercy of life, you know, like anything could have happened in that time that meant like I didn't really commentate anything big. You know, I'm lucky that I had people around me who really saw the talent in me. I feel like I'm doing a press conference now, so I'm going to stop. But like, there were some like really nice people.
No, absolutely, man. Go in here.
Like I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like, C4 was the guy who was the first person to ever tell me I could be good at commentary. You know, like C4 was that guy who really pushed me further than I'd push myself. You know, and I needed that. Like, I would say as a person, like, sometimes I can like be content in where I am, but C4 around me pushed me super far. There was a guy called Nate Revuzu, and RMZ in the Dragon Ball community, right? They knew me as a player, heard me commentate, and they were like, "Listen, just chase your dreams, but make sure they're realistic and find a way to make it work." And those guys were amazing. Like, Nate would take his shirt off his back for me. You know, like, I know he's a great guy, almost like a father figure to me. You know, and like having 2 dads isn't bad. It's great. And then like support from your friends is great as well. Like, when you get like support from your friends at your events, it changes everything. Like, I have had some of my friends sit in while I commentated events, right? They watched me commentate Celtic Throwdown event online during COVID.
Yeah.
And I remember afterwards they were just cheering me. They got me a Copperberg, and I still have that picture. That picture means so much to me. Like, there's like my girlfriend. Well, not I'm just gonna be mad I forgot her, but you know, she's like a driving force in pushing me. You know.
Yeah.
But like, having those people behind you is super important. A lot of people think you can go and do this commentary thing alone, and like, networking is important. Like, super important. You have to network people and like build a sort of a group of people that you can talk to more. But also having that like support group as well is great.
Yeah, I think
having people to sort of push you is amazing.
Those 2 support groups. You have your professional support group where you can go to ask about like professional questions, like, you know, like, oh, have you done this event? Who's the TO there, or whatever. But then you have your like kind of emotional support group, be your girlfriend and your like friends or whatever, that will tell you like, you know, shit like what you're saying, like, you know, they just constantly support you, like, hey, you're a good commentator, don't worry about it, like, you know, like, you missed that show, they missed out, check the next one, like, you know, or whatever, like, you know, there is that very...
Actually, there's a story of Evo 2021. So the year that it got cancelled because Evo Online, Evo was supposed to be my big break.
No way. Were you booked for that Evo?
Yeah, I was booked for that Evo.
What?
To commentate Fighting Hurts, and I was like, the game is good, and I really enjoyed the game, but I was more interested in like being on the Evo Grand Stage.
Of course.
Because that was my 2 years, like 2 years into my career, I was like, this is like the biggest stage in the mall. And even though it's online, I finally found a way to grasp it and, you know, take the opportunity.
Yeah.
And it happened, and that ended up not happening. I was crying for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, shit, you know, I was distraught.
Of course.
Because I was like, no, this is my big break. It's not like when things outside of your control happen and it like ruins an event, you just feel like the world is against you and it can be hard. But like, having people come to you and say, listen, you're going to get another shot, you're going to get another opportunity, it does not matter. It's the world. It's the world. But like, I was broken by that event. Like, I was broken by that.
Jesus, I didn't even know you were on a bill for that, man. That's sick. Like, I mean, even to be considered, man, you've been considered for that shit longer than I was, dude.
I mean, you've actually done it, like, so.
Yeah,
you're probably bigger than I am, but
that's
it's
crazy,
still, like,
man.
I still think back to it, and I'm like, damn, I wish things went differently.
That was. But do you know that's no sweat, like, you know. Turns out that it was like the whole thing of like they had to be super careful, like the company that were funding it had to be like super careful to make sure that every commentator had their own separate room, like, and that was like
so nothing could happen.
yeah, that was it, like. And I mean, look, I got to wake up every morning with a floor to ceiling. I was butt naked, standing looking at the Las Vegas Strip like this, being like, "We did it!"
Yeah, you get that moment. I think there's always that moment for a commentator where you realize you're on your way. You know, you're on your way and you're feeling it. And for me, it was I think I was on a Eurostar to do a Bandai event, the Japanese regional finals, the first one. I was on the Eurostar. I was looking outside, and I just thought about it. I was like, I have a job, but I'm out here on a train, paid for by some dudes to talk about a game I love, right? And I remember I was like hella nervous before getting on, and C4 was like, "What are you nervous about? You're here. You're literally here. They want you here." And I remember getting to my hotel room, and like, if you know me, like when I go to events, I don't go sightseeing. I don't do none of that shit. I'm a very homebody guy. But I went to my hotel room, and I stood on like the balcony-ish looking thing, and I was looking out at Paris. And like, Paris isn't beautiful at all. It's not my fucking home.
What?
Nah, I fucking hate Paris. Paris.
Yeah.
I'm not. I've been to Paris too many times, I guess, but like Paris is a show. So like, I went out there. It's all industrial looking shit. Someone's fighting someone on the other side. There's taxis crashing into each other and shit. Like, I'm looking out and I'm like, damn, I am on my way to being the commentator that I wanted to be 2 years ago. You know, and like that feeling is electric.
Oh,
and like, it motivates you so hard.
It's like crack in my veins, man. That's the shit I chase every time. Every time I'm doing more and more shows, I'm like, no, I just need to get that same feeling when I got the email to do Evo. That's my crack. That's my met, bro. I'm gonna hit that met buzz again, like, you know.
But also, there's that other feeling, that next feeling where it's like you're at home watching an event and you see other people there, and you're like, I really wish I was there. I really wish I was at this event with everyone, and like that's kind of what I got for Evo, you know.
Sure.
Like I was there, like, damn, maybe I didn't do enough, you know. Maybe I need to do a bit more and be there with everyone.
Nah, don't start looking inwardly for that. Like, I mean, maybe use it as a motivation to do more.
Of course.
But don't start saying maybe I needed to do more, because I feel like we work, you know.
Work hard enough.
We work like long hours, like, you know. Oh, it's a 2-hour broadcast.
My voice.
That's all, man. That's all. It's just 2 hours.
And like, it affects your outside life too. Like, I'll come back from an event, and I'll be talking like I've been talking like I just sucked dick like for hours, you know.
It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock right now that we're recording this right now. This is affecting our life.
It's been 2 hours of us talking shit. Bloody hell. It's been a lot, but like, it's hard work, and we're glad we do it, but at the same time, like, damn, the amount of shit that I've missed graduations, I've missed weddings, I've missed birthdays for commentary.
I've lost friends, man. I've lost friends, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm there with you, man, and it's the priority list. It was like, this is so important to me. This is the shit that I want to do. I want to be here in exactly the same position in 10 years, except for there's a big Nike tick underneath my name, and there's a Red Bull splash fridge behind my back here, like, you know, like that's where I want to be, man, like, you know. So unfortunately, for some sort of not so important people in my life, I can't go hang out with you, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, you know, like, I gotta draw the line in the sand.
If your friends don't understand, they weren't good enough friends in the first place, you know?
That's what I kept saying, man. I hit 30 and I was like, all right, we gotta stop taking 4-hour buses to go drink €20 beers with guys that won't pay me €5 for a bag of chips on the way home, like, you know?
Exactly,
like,
Like, it's actually, like, it's scary taking yourself outside of the comfort of your friends, but sometimes you do have to, you know? And like, I have had friends, like, they'd be like, oh yeah, it's X person's birthday on this day, and I'm like, I literally can't make it, and I'm so sorry. I really am sorry, but I have to do this event. Luckily my friends have been great. They're always understanding. Sometimes they even move birthdays for me, you know, like, it's
damn,
great.
man, that's sweet.
Like, I would say I'm hella lucky to have the friends I have. Like the Covenant gang, them man, and the LeBabes, those guys, they are some of the best friends you could ever ask for when chasing your dreams. Because these men, like, they're not afraid to tell me, no, you sound like shit. Or you sound amazing.
That's so
like
good.
Literally, they'll come back to me and be like, "Yo, what's wrong with you? Were you okay today?" I'd be like, "Shit, man, I thought I did great," you know. But like they also like some of them have paid for some of my trips. My first trip to Celtic Throwdown was paid for by one of my friends, and he was like literally just paying back whenever. And
wow, dude!
Amazing, Aaron. If you're watching this, you're the home dog. Much love.
Shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to Completely Undeniable Mayhem, our team. Just still waiting for shirts and shit for that, I guess.
Nah, but man, yeah, I think that's a great place to end it, man. Fucking keep it on a positive note. Dunk, it's been a fucking pleasure. Is there anything you want to shout out? Let anybody know what's coming up, or fucking just hey guys, seriously, and I mean this. Go onto Dunk's Twitter right now. Click that follow button and check out the pinned tweet, because it is the funniest. I was there. I saw the man take his shirt off, like, you know.
I haven't got like Adonis's body either. Like it was a sight for these people. But no, like literally, only thing I have to say is, first of all, follow me on Twitter. I have some stuff planned for the Dragon Ball Fighters World Tour if you're interested in it. I'm not gonna go into too much detail yet because we're still working on some stuff, but make sure you follow to keep up with that. Follow Damascus on YouTube, on Twitter, Twitch. That's where you'll see me most of the time. I'm commentating there. And follow C4 on Twitter and Twitch as well, because he's the boy, he's the goat, he's the one who gave me, he brought me into the dance, isn't it?
That's it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you soon. If you liked what you heard already, please let us know, and thank you so much for listening in.